What's up, everybody? Welcome in to your NFL pregame show. I am Rob Trigilio. He is Sterls for the girls and just dominating life right now. Just absolutely crushing it. He's crushing every facet of life. I got to tell you, for the first time, this is kind of strange. I have an in-person audience. Mama Dukes is in town. Yeah. Yeah. So she can hear me. And right now I can't see her, but like there will be a portion of this that I'm probably going to be able to see her as I'm talking to. So if I hesitate at any moment, that's why. She did make coffee, which I didn't wake up early enough to do, so it was very sweet of her. But I wouldn't dare ask her to make me breakfast. How rude! Come on, man, how rude! Just say that's true. That's true. No, she's that's hilarious. She always used to make breakfast for us. She was a stay-at-home mom, so very good, devoted to like that kind of stuff. But then since we have grown up, it's not really her thing. I don't know what it is, Mom. She's gonna be quiet. She feels awkward. She felt awkward that I mentioned her the last time. She's going to feel awkward that I'm talking about her now. So I doubt she'll say anything. But yeah, ever since I grown up, she's kind of just like on your own, kid. Oh, she's on her phone. Look, she she got on her phone, even though she could literally just speak and the mic would probably pick it up. She's on her phone, hanging out. All right, Sterls, man, how you doing? How you feeling? Because last time we talked, not good. So
Feel I'm getting there about 80% now. So yeah, I'm back, baby, all the way.
Okay, well, 80% is not all the way.
For me it is right now.
I mean, compared to where you were, yeah, it's great.
You know, sometimes you gotta lie to yourself.
Or just on the
And I
stream. You
just
got to
did
lie
that.
on the stream too.
Yeah, it does make yourself feel better. That's what you got to do.
All right. Well, we don't tell any lies. We go through. We pick every NFL game against the spread. We also, at some point, have to talk about college football, and we will do the commercial question of the day, no doubt. But let's start off, Sterls, with a couple of games yesterday, and
Okay.
It was interesting because the first one was so dependent on so many other games. I was kind of surprised they put it in that slot. Steelers-Ravens went off yesterday, and Steelers get the win. Game doesn't mean anything for the Ravens other than you might knock out your potential rival. So Lamar Jackson on the sideline, which I'm fine with. But Tyler Huntley got him to the playoffs last year. They limped there, but he got him there. So it's no scrubs here. But how long do I have to watch this Mason Rudolph thing? Like that's the first question I want to ask you.
Man, God, he just doesn't. I don't know if you feel this way about Mason Rudolph. I've kind of felt this way ever since he was at Oklahoma State. He has like one of the most top 5 punchable faces in the NFL. Does he not?
Is it because of the Myles Garrett fight that you're saying that, or?
It was that way before Myles Garrett hit him with a helmet. He just is like he's like the super Chad, you know?
Yeah, okay. I mean, I get what you're saying, but he's very like not important to me, I guess is how I want to say it.
Yeah.
Like he's just the guy that ends up starting games every couple of years. You know what I mean?
Ew. Ew. You're right. And the Bills were going to draft this joker.
Oh, dude, that and that was a big thing, and I had kind of said I wanted the Bills to take more than one quarterback. Like we were going into that draft knowing that there were going to be a couple quarterbacks
Right.
that went and that we wanted one of them. And I was like, listen, man, if this guy falls to like the third round, give me Josh Rosen and Mason Rudolph, and then like let's just see. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
So I don't know. He was part of that equation, but I never felt like he was a big part of it, I guess is what I want to say. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I felt like in yesterday's game, I mean, he played well enough to get them to win. I mean, you can't take much from him there. Those gloves in the rain was, I mean, more power to you. Like I I didn't, man, I would have thought like, okay, how good are those gloves must have been really good because the rain was coming down hard and he was still slinging that pill.
Well,
So
and I know they have different types. Like there's they you know what they talked about it with Dalton Kincaid the other day. Like I think it was Greg Olson that was talking about it. Like the gloves that he has on have to be soaking wet for them to work properly, right? So they have gear specifically designed for weather like that. So I don't know. I mean, it was an ugly game. It was not easy to watch.
yeah,
That's for sure.
I
All
came
right,
away not impressed with Tyler Huntley though. I thought he'd be better in this game.
really? Did you?
Well, he had some really good moments last year, so I just figured, I felt like he could come in and just play well, and he didn't look the part yesterday. So
I just feel like he's a real below average quarterback,
yeah,
but he's not nobody. You know what I mean? Like I'll take
right,
the starting experience over just random guy, random rookie out of whatever. So I think it matters that he started all those games. All right, so let's talk about what it means for the playoffs. Steelers win. The only thing that could have been decided from that game was the Bills would have clinched a playoff spot with the Steelers' loss. Everything else depended on other games, which is why I thought it was
right.
weird they put it in that slot. But Steelers get the win. They are 10-7. They put pressure on everybody else. Everyone around them starts to feel a little bit of pressure because they got the 10th win, and that's where the logjam is going to be. We talked about that logjam in the AFC that was kind of there all year as we are going through the season. That logjam now sits at 10-7. And
Yeah,
we'll see what the tiebreakers spit out after today's games. It's crazy that our Bills could go from as high as the 2 seed to a loss likely in this scenario, putting them out. It would take a weird set of events for them to get in with a loss. So we'll go over that, but Steelers put pressure on everybody else. Do you even want to see them in the playoffs, Sterls? Like, I feel like it's such an uninspired matchup. I don't know. Maybe Kenny Pickett starts, and maybe that makes it more interesting. But now it looks like T.J. Watt's going to be out.
yep,
They're saying sprained MCL, and that means a tear that isn't all the way through. Essentially, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And so I don't know. Do you even want to see the Steelers in the playoffs, or is it just kind of a waste for you at this point?
I mean, yeah, I want to see him in the playoffs just because the job, Mike Tomlin has done this season, I think is impressive. Now I think their team is trash overall, but
Wait,
they've
hold
won
on.
some.
That really sounded like both sides of your mouth there, buddy.
Well, it is. I mean, think about it. Like the Steelers are not good. However, they don't have a franchise quarterback. They got a good defense, and Mike Tomlin. When you think the Steelers should be, a 6-win team, they're going to be in the playoffs probably. So it's impressive coaching job for sure. I mean, he's getting the most out of these guys.
Yeah.
But that team is not good. Like if they get in the playoffs, they're losing the first game by 2 touchdowns probably. They just suck.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any of the division leaders that I'd pick them against, and I don't even think against the AFC South if it ends up being Houston or Jacksonville. I don't even think I'd pick them versus them. So it remains to be seen. We're gonna have to watch how things fall today to see if they even get in. The next game from yesterday, Houston and Indianapolis. The Colts get eliminated on a drop by their back, who, to his credit, stood up at his locker and said, "Hit me in the hands," no excuse. But
Zach Moss?
No, it wasn't him. It was Goodson, I think his name is.
Oh, I didn't even watch the game.
But so it was fourth down. They had driven all the way down. There's about, and this was the part that drove me a little bit crazy. They get down to like the 30-yard line with like 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. And in my head, as a coach, when I'm thinking as a coach, I think to myself, hey man, like, save yourself as much time as you can. You never know what's going to transpire at the end of this game. You've got 2 timeouts left. You have to score a touchdown. You're down by 6. I wouldn't do what they did. And what they did instead was just let the clock run down. Because they said, if we score a touchdown, we don't want CJ Stroud to have any time. I understand that. It wouldn't have been my choice. So they let it run down to like a minute 13, a minute 15, something like that. They snapped the ball on 4th and 1. They've got the right play called. It's a little just leak out route for the back. He's wide open. Minshew puts it on him. It's behind him, but he puts it on him, and it hits the guy right in the hands and falls to the ground. And he just lays there for a second on the ground. And you don't ever touch the ball again. Your offense doesn't touch the ball again. They run a couple plays, burn your timeouts, burn the 40 seconds, and then the punter runs out of the back of the end zone and they punt on a safety, and your offense never touches the ball again. So it was an interesting game. Listen, I want to take a moment to give credit to CJ Stroud and D'Amico Ryans. I mean,
right.
It's incredible what they've done down there. And I do not want to see them in the playoffs. Like, that is a potential matchup for the Bills, depending on how things fall. If the Bills end up in the 2 seed, it's a potential matchup for them. I do not want CJ Stroud coming to Buffalo.
I'm not worried about the Texans. I am proud of them and what they've done, but matchup-wise, I feel like, you talk about rookie quarterbacks in the playoffs historically. They don't fare well, but CJ Stroud's an amazing talent. I would hedge my bets with Sean McDermott in the defense right now. I mean, as much criticism as I've given him. Hold on.
Whoa.
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
Hey, Sean McDermott's been they've had some really good weeks lately, man. And I can't hate on him on that. Like, as much as I give him shit and tell him he sucks, he's really put together some really good games. So if you ask me, am I worried about the Texans in Buffalo? Let's say that's the first round opponent. No, I'm not worried about it. I think the Bills handle them.
Well, their possible matchups vary a lot, and I'm talking about the Texans here, because they still are in line to win that division. They, like the Bills, are going to be watching that Jacksonville game today that kicks off at 11 o'clock, because if Jacksonville loses to Tennessee, they win the AFC South, which would mean their matchup is the Browns. And if you're the Texans, you can decide what matchup you think is better and you want to root for. Really, you're either going to be at Miami, at Buffalo, or at home versus Cleveland. And respect to Joe Flacco. Like, I'll put some respect on the name, but at the end of the day, playing a home game against a 4th-string quarterback sounds way better to me, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, shout out to Flacco for what he's been able to do, but I mean, come on, man. The gravy train is going to end soon. Like, no. If he's that good, and he hasn't been on a roster till when the Browns picked him up, shame on the NFL.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But we know who Joe Flacco is. He's just having a hot streak. They haven't really played a tough opponent in the past 4 weeks. So The playoffs is a funny, fickle bitch, and it kind of sorts out your weaknesses, right?
Yeah.
And so they got a good defense. I think that's what keeps them in games. But shout out to Flacco, man. Dude be throwing 300 yards a game. So Mark
Got off the
Cooper is
couch
balling out.
and started throwing
Yeah,
300 yards a game.
yeah, it's impressive, but I just don't feel like it's gonna last.
But credit to the Texans. I kind of want them to win the AFC South. I think it's a fun
It'd be
story.
cool.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I think D'Amico Ryans deserves credit, and I think I kind of feel like if they end up winning the South, he wins Coach of the Year.
Man, it'd be nice.
And if they only get a wild card, Stefanski gets it. But I don't know. It's Coach of the Year, so how much does it really matter? But props to D'Amico
Give
Ryans.
it to D'Amico Ryans,
the job
man.
he's done.
Give it to him. And Kevin Stefanski has done one hell of a job as a Browns coach. I mean, you talk about that team being maligned by injuries. I mean, listen, like I know Bills fans cry and complain about injuries, and we're not even that bad, but they've lost a guy on every level on the offense and the defense. It feels like that's gone for the season, and he still has these guys playing really hard, really fast and well. So Kevin Stefanski, I wouldn't be mad if he got Coach of the Year as well.
I mean, they lost I don't know, 3 of their best 5 players. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. So yeah, the fact that they won 11 games and could win 12, right? Like they're just not gonna do anything today. But they could easily have beaten the Bengals today. So yeah, an impressive job by both of them. All right, I'm trying to get this to load here. Here we go, finally. All right, let's start running down the games. We will pick every game that is happening today against the spread. Sterls is going to fake and act like he bets on them. I'm actually going to bet on them.
Wow. I bet on everything that comes out of my mouth. I put money on it,
That's
dude.
not true.
That is true.
A 15-leg parlay doesn't count as betting on the game.
Okay, I stopped doing 15-leggers. Okay, I'll do a 4 or 5 leg. So I space them out. Look, go big or go home, dude. Like
okay. Right.
I'm not betting each game.
That's what you got to tell yourself to sleep at night. Okay, whatever.
You bet like the kid who takes the edges off his his sandwich at school. You have Mama Dukes take off the edges, so you had a little soft bread. That's how you bet. Okay,
I don't even know what that means. Does that mean I'm soft?
You ain't never seen a kid.
Is that what you're saying?
Or
you saying like I'm
a
serial killer?
And you cut and you had the edges cut off where your peanut butter and jelly sandwich looks like a Crustable?
No.
Were you that kid?
No, I've never done that.
Lies.
Listen, from the
Mama
fucking
Dukes will tell the truth.
serial killer that peels grapes over there, taking shots from the corner. Okay, I got you. All right, let's talk about these games. Falcons Saints is the first one today. Falcons still in line to win the division, I believe. It would take the Panthers beating the Bucks and them beating the Saints, but I believe in that scenario they would be NFC South champions. Also, I think an outside chance at the wild card for them.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
That is true.
Okay. It would take losses from everybody, right? Like Green Bay, Seattle, Minnesota, New Orleans. Of course, they would have to beat them. But all of those teams, I think, would have to lose for the Falcons to slide into that last wild card spot. So really, it's the division that they're most concerned about in terms of getting there. They are currently 12th in the NFC and still alive for a playoff spot, which is kind of crazy.
You know what the good news is that next week we don't have to talk about the Saints or the Falcons.
Guess what? We do, because one of them's going to be in the playoffs probably.
Nah, man. I just hope the NFL says, you know what? You guys suck, and neither one of you can pass.
Can we take this moment? Can we pause here and take this moment for me to advocate once again for not having a division winner host home playoff games? Like winning your division, let me make this super clear. I think it should get you into the playoffs.
For sure.
You play 2 games against each of those teams. You are segmenting your league out like this, and you're saying, okay, we want to take the best one of all of these. Fine. You've got 3 wild card spots. I don't mind that at all. Right? If there was only 1 wild card spot or no wild card spots, I'd have a problem with it. You got 3 wild card spots. So fine. Give every division winner a playoff spot. But then just seed them because of record, please.
Right.
Like just seed by record. I don't know why that's so difficult. Like, oh, we have to use our imagination to move a division winner from 4 to 7. Like, who freaking cares, man? These guys should not be hosting a home playoff game. If you win a bad division, it's like doubling down, because if you win a bad division, you're playing games inside that. 6 of your games are against that bad division. So if you're 7-9
Right.
and you're 5-1 in your bad division, like, you do not deserve a home playoff game. If a good team got to play in that division, they go undefeated in it too. But instead, you play in a better division, and so you lose seeding because of that. It's so stupid. I hate it. I really hate it.
I mean, this just benefits the owners, right?
What?
'Cause,
No,
you know,
why? Wouldn't you rather have playoff games in both Dallas and Philly than have one in New Orleans or Atlanta or Tampa Bay this year?
For as an NFL fan, absolutely. But what I'm saying is, like, if the Saints win and they get in the playoffs, you know, they're gonna host a playoff game, and you
But
know,
how does
you
that?
gotta, if you're that owner, it's just more revenue. It's just more money for the bottom dollar. That's to me, that's the only reason why you would have such stupidity in your seating to do it that way.
But like, they, as far as all the owners are concerned, they still get that playoff game. They still get the revenue from it. It's just a matter of if it's in Dallas or if it's in New Orleans. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. For me, it drives me crazy. I cannot see a reason that you would do that.
Yeah.
And take away, make a team like Dallas have to, or in this case it'll be Philly, have to potentially play 3 road games to make it to the Super Bowl when they had one of the best records in the NFC. And if that's the case, then give them a home playoff game. And by the way, you would have less people resting guys this week. If it was just seeding based on record, you'd have less people resting guys this week because seeds would still be up for grabs. So, all right, we got a couple of chime-ins here. Our guy David checking in says, "Morning, boys. Sorry I'm not following along, but I'm celebrating before the Bills game today. Go Bills. It is the man's birthday."
Oh, it's his birthday?
It is the man's birthday.
Oh, dude.
And I know he only wants one present for his birthday, and that is a birthday wish for me and Sterls on this show right here.
Happy birthday, man. That's our dog right there, dude. That's our guy.
72 years old today, and he looks great. I mean,
yeah,
the dude can still run miles at a time, and he is ancient. 84. Yeah. Happy birthday to David. Love you. Appreciate you. And we'll see you later.
All the love, man. This guy, he must have knees of steel, because I don't know how he runs on fucking concrete like he does and not have injuries.
86 years old, and he runs on concrete miles at a time.
He's got Megan Thee Stallion knees is what he's got. That's what he's got.
And then, all right, I haven't seen Milkman yet, or, I mean, there is a chance he is in here in quiet. Our Channel Alabama fan and, of course, troll of the planet, Milkman, of course, hasn't said anything yet today, but Monk did jump in. So let's give you a chance to go off here, Sterls, and we will again if Milkman ends up showing up. But he says a little off topic, but who y'all going for in the college football national championship? And I'll just step aside. The floor is yours.
Yeah, just step aside, because first thing I'll say is I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide, baby. Y'all suck. You guys freaking suck. They came in here and they told us Michigan doesn't have a chance. J.J. McCarthy's not good. Your offensive line can't hang with the SEC in the trenches. Nick Saban with a month to prepare. You guys have no shot. Jim Harbaugh is a cheater. He's not a good coach. We heard it all. We heard it all. Number one, Michigan won the battle in the trenches. And not by a little bit. They dominated on both freaking sides. I told you guys. Let's take a little snap picture here. Jalen Milroe was asked during the press conference before the game. They said, "What do you think about Michigan's defense? Is one of the best in the country. How have you guys prepared? Blah 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 blah." He said, "You know what? I play in the SEC, and there is nothing that Michigan is going to do that I haven't seen." Now, Rob, you and I talked about this. What did I tell you? I said Jesse Minter is a disciple of the Baltimore Ravens, which is the NFL defense, who works with Lamar Jackson. I told you guys this. I said Jalen Milroe has not seen an NFL-style defense like Michigan's. What happened? 5 sacks in the first half, 1 sack in the second half. Your best receiver, Isaiah Bond, 1 catch for 22 yards. So miss me on all the SEC stuff and blah, 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 because Michigan came in and they played their C game. Their special teams has been great all season. They look like shit the other day, okay? But anyway, Roll Tide, put them to bed. Nick Saban, put him to bed. Well, we haven't watched film this week on our iPads because, come on, bro. Really, Mr. We've been paying players since Jesus been alive. That's why you get all those 5-star recruits. Stop it. Anyway, Michigan, without sign stealing, came in there and kicked your ass on both sides of the ball. So I rest my case. As far as who's going to win on Monday, I don't know, but I feel like Michigan's got a really good shot. If they're going to they need to control the game on the ground, play good defense. I think, it's kind of the Ohio State thing. Washington presents the same challenges that Ohio State has, but they don't have as good a defense as Ohio State. Michael Penix is phenomenal. They got 3 really, 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 really good wide receivers, but Michigan's good on defense too. So it'll be a really good game. I do expect Michigan to win about 34-27. Thank you.
Monk getting more than he bargained for there.
Yeah.
I don't think Monk knew that you were a Michigan fan in asking the question. we needed to give him a little space to just get it off his chest. Because I got to be honest with you, if the people watching don't know, he has taken it on the chin a couple times throughout the season from different people about being a Michigan fan. So you got to let them talk when it's done, right? Like when they win, you got to let them just kind of go ahead. So, go ahead. You feel better now, Sterls?
Oh, I had to get that off my chest. What would be a really good Christmas present for a late Christmas present? Milkman was in here and he showed his face. But,
of course he won't.
Just like Alabama didn't show up, Milkman's not going to show up either. So
right.
I understand.
It was a really good game, and I don't know that you got to slam a bunch of 19-year-olds like that. I thought they performed real well. They played real well. It was a great spirited competition.
Everybody gets a trophy. Everybody gets a trophy now.
Well, they did. It was called the SEC title, so they did get a trophy. Don't think they should
I just
be
had
ashamed
to, man.
of their season at all.
Let me tell you, but it's one of those things, dude. It's like Alabama fans, they talk a lot of trash, and they have the right to.
I was going to say they've earned it. I mean, that's fine.
They've earned it, but when you lose, you got to hear it from the team that you lost to, and fortunately for me, it's Michigan. So. I'm loving life right now.
Let's spend a couple minutes on this, which is hilarious because we've already spent like 5 minutes on it. But let's spend just 2 minutes on this here, talking about the college football national championship. Then we will get back to the Sunday NFL pregame show. We will pick every game against the spread. But let's just spend 2 minutes here talking about the championship game tomorrow in Houston. First off, and I'd love your take on it, having watched them all season. As I was watching that Michigan game, and credit to them, they pulled it together. But it felt like to me at the beginning of the game, moment was a little too big for Michigan. You feel that way, Sterls?
Absolutely. And if you watch the last 3 college football playoff performances that Michigan's been in, they just that's how they come out, and I don't understand it. They look rusty.
Not even rusty,
They
man. It
just
looked like it was too big for him. JJ McCarthy makes a stupid mistake, which I know is not something that he normally does. Like you said, the punt return, like the special teams, muffing the punt, like it just now credit to him, right? They didn't let that affect them the rest of the game. And I was sitting there on the stream saying, like, ooh, this has me scared about Michigan. They turned it around, but I mean, it looked too big for him. And guess what?
it
The
did.
stage gets bigger now.
Well, check this out. So I'm a big Michigan football history buff. Okay. If you look at times with Gary Moeller, Lloyd Carr, Bo Schembechler, especially in the Rose Bowl, the Wolverines have played in about 20 Rose Bowl appearances. They always look like that. I don't know what it is, but they have these like glass-eyed moment too big for them,
Yeah.
and you know, and it's just I don't know. It's just like that's just their DNA. I do think
Shitty DNA
it's
to have.
this though. It's one of these things where now because they won the semifinal game, you're going to see a much different approach from Michigan in the national championship game. It's kind of one of those things where like the Bills couldn't beat the Patriots. The Bills couldn't win a playoff game for a while. You know, it's now you over the hump. I expect them that this is a veteran Michigan team.
You think the pressure's
You're
off
going to see a
now?
much different. They're going to be fine tomorrow. You'll see. They'll be fine. You won't see that tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
I'm telling you.
I don't know if I believe that, but all right.
I know. It's if you're not a Michigan fan and haven't watched every game for years and years,
That's why
I understand the skepticism,
that's why
but
I
I'm
asked
telling you, it'll be different.
Monk says, I am a Wolverine fan too. Penix is a surgeon. His ball placement is
Yeah.
phenomenal. I think as long as the Wolverines defense lock it down, the Wolverines win by 2 touchdowns. I'm just going to say this. And it didn't sound disrespectful, so I'm not speaking to Monk directly, but just in general. The football watching world has not given Washington the respect that they deserve every single step of the way. I watched them last year. I saw what they were building. I watched them this year. I tend to watch more Pac-12 than a lot of people on the East Coast because I love those late games. They're perfect for us out here. They start at 8 o'clock at night. Like, finish your dinner, sit down, and play some video games and watch a game. So I've watched a lot of Washington play, and I just don't think they get the respect that they deserve. I mean, even when playing other Pac-12 teams, everybody was like, Oregon is going to cakewalk these dudes. You know
Both
what I mean?
times.
And, right. Both times. Like, even after they beat them once, people were like, oh, yeah, no, Oregon's going to win the Pac-12 title game by 40 points. You know what I mean? They have never gotten the respect that they deserve. In my eyes, they have 3 NFL wide receivers. They've got an NFL starting quarterback. They've got a couple NFL offensive linemen, one of which is from right here in Colorado, so shout out to him. One of my guys that I work with coached him in high school, so that's kind of exciting. But that team is absolutely loaded. Michael Penix, I think, is going to be the quarterback who goes to a good team. He's going to have the Lamar Jackson effect, right? Like he's going to be a good quarterback that goes to a good team because he doesn't go at the top of the draft, and he's going to be really successful, is what I think. So, I mean, Wolverines win by 2 touchdowns, Monk.
That's not crazy. That's not crazy.
I'm just telling you right now. Put some respect on the name, okay? Put some respect on. Fear the purple a little bit, all right? Give them a little bit of respect here.
It's not disrespectful. I would say both these teams.
2 touchdowns is disrespectful, Sterls.
Listen, both of these teams have been playing with the chip on their shoulder all season long.
Sterls.
They have been.
Sterls, are you really going to tell me predicting them to win by 2 touchdowns isn't disrespectful when the spread is 4.5?
I'm telling you this. Washington could beat Michigan by 2 touchdowns. Michigan could beat Washington by 2 touchdowns. It's going to come down to, and by the way, you missed one really, really important point. Washington has the Joe Moore Award winners for the best offensive line in the country this year.
Yep. I mean, they really
Washington is a really good team. No, they're a great team. Let me correct myself. They're a great team. However, this game will be won in the trenches. And whatever team can dominate in the trenches wins this game. Michigan's not going to send a bunch of 5-man pressures, 6-man pressures. They're going to send 4. Kalen DeBoer was at Indiana. He smoked Michigan before. And no one's talking about that with Michael Penix.
Yep.
In 2019.
Yep.
Beat their ass by 2 touchdowns. So if no one in Michigan is thinking that Washington is a bunch of chumps, they know that Kalen DeBoer and the way he calls that offense is dangerous. And now, not only does Michael Penix have 1 good receiver, he has 3 and a really good offensive line. So
Nick Saban doesn't
Michigan could do it.
Nick Saban doesn't go try to poach your offensive coordinator if he's a scrub, dude. Like they are. Not only are they loaded down with NFL talent, but they've got a coach that Nick Saban thought enough to make an offer of a head coaching type contract to the guy, and he decided to stay at Washington. So Washington getting 4.5. I just put it in on my phone. I'll bet the 4.5. Not because I think Washington's going to win, but because I think to call this anything more than a field goal game is disrespectful to either side. Now, I was impressed with Michigan's trenches against Alabama, and I thought it was maybe a little bit overblown, but I did think they were going to struggle against the Alabama offensive and defensive line, and they didn't. So credit. I mean, I just think it's disrespectful to say, especially with that quarterback, especially with those weapons, that Washington is going to lose by 2 touchdowns.
Can I make one last point on this?
Last one, and then we'll move back to the NFL. Go ahead. Last word.
So Michigan in 2020 rebuilt their program, okay? That's when they started bringing in guys like Jesse Minter, Mike McDonald, because they could not beat Ohio State. Ohio State has C.J. Stroud, Olave, Njigba, Garrett Wilson. They wanted to beat those high-flying, powered offenses with 2 and 3 great wide receivers. And that's why you see the Michigan that you see today. Michigan is built and prepared to face Michael Penix and the Washington Huskies. I'm not saying that Michigan's going to shut them down, but what I'm telling you is this. Those guys will be prepared on Monday night. They will be prepared, okay? Michael Penix, and I'll put money on this, he will not throw for 400 yards. He will throw – he'll get his 300.
What's my plus money on that?
How much you want? How much you want to do?
I want my plus
I'll
money.
bet you $10. I'll bet you $10.
No, but that, like, if it's $10, I need to be wagering too.
Look, Michael Penix will not throw for 400 yards on Michigan.
How about
I'm telling
300?
y'all right now. He's going to get 300. He'll get 300, but he will not get 4.
All right, well, you're not giving me the odds I like, but I would put money on it.
Look, they're going to get their yards, but I'm telling you, man, when it comes, Blake Corum is going to have a freaking day tomorrow. You'll see, running the ball, and that's what's going to that right there is going to keep this game honest to where Washington will not be on the field as much as they are typically because of that offense is so high flying. They're going to control the game by running the ball. Now I'm done.
All right, well, I'm looking forward to 47 minutes of football and 60 minutes of commercials.
I know. Oh, God.
Every half for the game tomorrow night on ESPN. The commercials on New Year's were just crazy. I mean, they would go to commercial break, kick off, and then do another full commercial break after that. And it was like, is this 1990? Like, what is
oh my God, dude. I even tweeted about it. I'm like, this is ridiculous. How many commercial breaks and commercials are we going to have to see? And it's going to be like this tomorrow. So the game is going to end up taking 4 hours tomorrow.
And the reason that popped into my head is because I was going to say, with what I think Michigan is going to do on offense, this game is going to be 45 minutes long. But not with the commercials, it won't be.
Man, right? Everybody will be rested.
Yes.
Both teams will be rested.
Yes, absolutely. All right, let's get back to the NFL here. I don't think we officially made a pick here. Falcons and Saints. A look at the NFC South on the line here. The game matters for both teams. Both teams could theoretically win the NFC South with a win. Who you like, man? Saints and Falcons.
I'm going to take the Saints -3 here. Man, what a disappointment the usage of Bijan Robinson has been this season. What a disappointment by the Falcons. He's too damn good to be. He needs the ball every single play. And they just, I don't know, man. The Saints, Derek Carr has been frustrating all season long. We all season, you and I have had a hard time putting our faith in either of these teams because they've let us down so many times. I feel like in this game, you got to go with the Saints. They're more veteran team. They got the better quarterback, supposedly. I feel like they get it done.
Here's the thing. We've also said that about Kyle Pitts. Like,
yep.
Isn't that a coach that needs to be fired? You've got two weapons. Yeah. Would I like more coffee? Let's see. Do I want more coffee? Sure, I'll take a little bit. Thanks, Ma. So, isn't that a fireable offense, Sterls, at this point?
Yes. The owner did come out and say he's mulling over if he's going to keep the coach or not.
It
shouldn't even be a decision.
You got a top 10 you got a top 10 tight end draft pick wise. You picked a tight end in the top 10. You picked a running back in the top 10. And you don't use either of them? I mean, what the fuck are we doing here? What are we doing here? And it's so weird because Arthur Smith is an offensive guy. Like, if he was a defensive coach, maybe you could understand, you got a young offensive coordinator who doesn't know what he's doing, whatever. However, it would happen. Arthur Smith is the offensive coach. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, it's bad. And you know what? Not only were those two picks top 10, but they're supposed to be generational talents.
Right.
The two guys like that should change the course of your franchise.
It shouldn't matter who's playing quarterback, especially because they're not wide receivers. One's a tight end, security blanket, and the other's a running back. Like, what are we doing here? I don't know. Listen, if you get a Mike McDaniel type coach that goes in there next year, that could
game
be
over.
I mean, that
game
could be
over.
And maybe you talk about a guy like Kyler Murray, or how about, and this is what I really like for this one, how about Kirk Cousins down there?
Screw that.
What do you mean?
How about Jaden Daniels in a draft? Get Jaden Daniels.
Fine. I'm fine. I would do both if I was the Falcons, to be honest.
Sure, yeah. Heck,
you know what I mean? Like, I would do both
too.
Look at the NFC this year. There's maybe 3 good teams in it, and maybe it's not even 3. If you put Kirk Cousins on the Falcons next year, honestly.
Oh, man. They're good. They'd be good. They would be good. They probably win the NFC South. Tell me I'm wrong.
Absolutely. They run away with that division, and because they're in that division, they're probably a top 2 seed. Yep. Like, just think about that. I mean, that's crazy. It's crazy that we're sitting there talking about them at 7-9. So, with his job on the line, with the NFC South on the line, with all that talent, give me the Falcons +3 tonight. Today.
Oh, man.
Give me the Falcons +3.
We're opposite here.
I'm just saying, man.
I don't even want to watch that game. Do you?
I mean, as humans, we have a natural reaction to watch train wrecks. So there is a part of me that wants to watch that game. In the 11 o'clock slot, it's one of the few that actually has meaning. 11 o'clock slot, a little bit barren. However, for our Bills, there is a more important game, so you know what I'll be watching.
I'll be watching that too.
All right, Browns and Bengals. We looked at this game for the last month and a half and said, this game's going to matter, week 18. Browns and Bengals. Browns in a playoff spot. Bengals turns out, nope. Nah, doesn't mean anything to either team. Bengals get eliminated last week with a loss to Kansas City. Browns locked into that 5 seed because we can't, why would we rank teams based on their record rather than if they won the division or not? Browns would be the 2 seed right now. tied for the 2 seed if they were just ranking by record, seeding playoffs by record. Instead, they're going to rest Joe Flacco. Nothing to play for today. Yeah, you heard me right. They're going to rest Joe Flacco. I mean, that's so like, listen to that statement. Browns getting a touchdown in Cincinnati versus Jake Browning. Who you got?
Well, the spread is -7 for the Bengals. That's a hard sell for me. I feel like the Browns are going to keep it close because that defense is really good. Now, I know a lot of their starters are going to be out, but they're like too deep there. So I think if you ask me, I'm going to take the Browns plus the points.
Yeah, and PJ Walker is a decent quarterback. I like Jake Browning. I think he's done an excellent job. I think Jake Browning has earned himself the Chase Daniels Lifetime Backup Quarterback Award here. He is going to get a couple more contracts based just solely on what he's done this year.
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong, I like him a lot, but I like PJ Walker too. I think he's an underrated backup. And this Browns team has all year long, despite not having stars, has kept winning. So who am I to say that ends right now?
Right.
Give me the Browns, give me a touchdown, and I bet you that defense is game today to make it tough on the Bengals.
And you know, one thing that we like to talk about on our show is the mental aspect of playing the game. And I think, you know, the Bengals, who are out of the playoff picture, how much are they really going to put in this game?
Yeah.
With this is a team that's typically, no question, in the playoffs, and they're probably, you know, next to the Chiefs, the second best team in the AFC. I don't think they're going to care much today. I think you got a bunch of divas over there, young players. I just feel like, you know, the Browns, put your money on the Browns today is a good bet.
Let's spend a quick second talking about that too. You got 2 elite wide receivers who both aren't paid yet. You think they're going to go out there today and be flying around?
Nope.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are thinking to themselves, I need to get through this game healthy so I can get paid in the offseason. That's it. That's the only
T. Higgins especially.
Yeah.
Because he's a free agent.
Yep. By the way, put him in. Ooh, please. Oh, my goodness. Could you imagine?
You're getting me hot and bothered already on the show, buddy. Let me tell you something. T. Higgins in this offense, can I just say this real quick? What he would do in the short intermediate game, just as a big possession guy, it makes Dalton Kincaid better. It makes Shakir. It makes everybody on your offense
it probably
better because
extends the life of Stephon Diggs here. You know what I mean? Like,
oh man, but Bills. I don't. The Bills could afford him. They would have to do. They have to do a lot of roster construction this offseason, which I don't put that past Brandon Beane. The odds of it happening are very slim. But T. Higgins is a number 1 wide receiver. Point blank. Period.
I think the only way it happens is if you get a charge against Von Miller and therefore can get rid of that entire contract. I think that's the only way something like that goes down. But Kenny G, what do you think Driscoll does in this game over under 225 passing yards? I think if you're betting Driscoll props, you need to find a new hobby. That's what
I was about to say. You are a degenerate.
Kenny, I love you, brother. But here's why I say that. And I do actually say this every year when it comes to betting. Don't bet on games that don't mean anything. You have no idea who's going to show up and why they're going to show up. I would tell you right now, only if you want to bet prop bets, go find a prop bet in the Jaguars game or the Bills game or something like in a game that matters. You have no idea who's going to show up. And we were just talking about T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Like, I mean, are they even going to play today? Much less try to play. I would stay away from that game for everything when it comes to prop bets. I think Kenny says, or do you think the Bengals are just full screw this game? Yeah, I think the Bengals are full screw this game. I think their motivation is a problem, and I don't know who's going to show up or why. If they had been eliminated for a few weeks, you have a little bit of a track record, a little bit more consistency of will these guys show up, will they not? But the fact that they got eliminated last week, I stay away from it 100%. Okay, Jets at Patriots, another game, doesn't really mean anything. There was a race for the first overall pick that the Patriots were involved in. They are still in a race for a top 5 pick, and this will likely decide the fate of Jaden Daniels, Drake May, right? Like
Caleb Williams. He might not be, the consensus number 1 overall pick.
What I've heard is that he is, but I've heard that Drake may not be slotted in at the number 2 spot. So Bears will have the first pick. Patriots right now in a 3-way tie for that second overall pick with the Commanders and Cardinals. I mean, all 3 of those teams could pick quarterback. They really could. I've heard Arizona is considering staying with Kyler and using these top picks to fill out the rest of their roster. That would be very interesting to me if they decided to do that.
Very interesting.
I mean,
I think
it's a tough contract.
There's one more point, though. There's one more point that you're missing. This might be Bill Belichick's last game as a New England Patriot.
That's a great point, too.
So,
that's a great point, too.
I think that matters
in New
going
England,
into this game.
No less.
Yeah, I think the players know it. I think the coaching staff knows it. I think they're going to play some inspired football today. The Jets they haven't had anything to play for since Rodgers left, really. He got hurt beginning of the season. Now, I don't know. I think Bailey Zappi, after his meltdown last week, I think they can come in and get it done here. So I'm going to take the Patriots minus 2.5.
Yeah, you talked me into it too. I'll take the Patriots minus. It's just -2 right now. Interesting, at least on my site. I'll take the Patriots -2. You talked me into it. You're absolutely right. I'm all about that life. Bill Belichick playing his final game in New England, likely, allegedly. I don't know how do we have to say that. Call the lawyer.
Likely is good.
Call the lawyer and figure out how we have to put words to that. I'm with you. Give me New England -2.
And shout out to an end of an era, man. Bill Belichick has been phenomenal in New England. As much as we hate him as Bills fans, the dude has been great for the NFL. He's been great for defenses all over. So shout out to Bill, man, as he will be finding a new team next year.
I go back and forth on him because I do think he's a great coach. I think he's actually a decent person, but I do think he fucking cheated a whole lot. And I think he does treat the media like shit for no reason. And those two things, they make me go back and forth on him. What will be fun is if he does leave here and still wants to work. That will be fun. If he still wants to be a coach somewhere, I
think he does.
Seeing him try to pick the spot to go to have a Tom Brady ending to his career it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Put him in Atlanta with Kirk Cousins and watch them win the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, let's get crazy. Let's get crazy.
I love it. I love that. Oh my God, that would be so crazy,
wouldn't it? That's what I'm saying. Like
Bill in Atlanta,
and Kirk Cousins signs there, and guess what? We're gonna go try to win the Super Bowl.
Whew.
I mean, fun, right?
Okay,
it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
All right, Jags and Titans, the game that you and I and Bills, Steelers
will be watching,
and Texans fans will all be locked in on is Jaguars and Titans. Jags in Tennessee, -3.5. I believe Trevor Lawrence
Yep.
is a go. Was it official though?
Um,
Did the inactives come out? They should have.
Not yet. I haven't seen it yet. So in this game, this could be Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill's last game as a Tennessee Titan.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, we've been saying this all season long about the Titans. Like, they are probably one of the top 3 scrappiest teams, toughest teams in the league. And I think that matters in a game like this. It's a divisional game. There's a lot on the line for the Jaguars, and time again we've seen in the NFL the teams in the Titans predicament win games like this. The pressure of the Jaguars all season long. You know, you look at Trevor Lawrence, and he hasn't really taken that next step as many thought he would. He's a good quarterback, but he's not elite yet. I just feel like the Jaguars are going to piss down their leg today. I just do. Not for the Bills' benefit or anything like that, but it's just like, as a Bills fan, we've seen this play out so many times before. You go back to 2003, where the Bills played the Steelers backups for a playoff spot, and they fucking pissed down their leg.
Yeah, why we got to do this? Why?
But you know what you know where I'm going with that though. It's true. Teams in this position typically piss down their leg, and they don't show up, and I don't know why. And so I feel like, if you're gonna put money on this game, put it on the Titans.
Wow. I mean, getting 3.5 at home is something. I
know it's hard, isn't it? Because you know how good the Jaguars can be. That they've shown us a couple times this year they could be a really good football team. But it's the consistency week in and week out that makes you wonder, like, man, who am I going to get this week?
Well, Ryan Tannehill, I don't think is as big of a deal because he's not actually going to play, right? It'll be Levis. But Derrick Henry's last game in Tennessee, likely.
And that's for sure. There's no way he comes back next year.
Unless he wants to play his entire career as a Titan. And I think sometimes people underestimate what that means to some guys. It would mean a lot to me to only wear one jersey my whole career.
You're paying Derrick Henry $10 million next year.
Oh, I don't think he gets he even if he gets cut, I'm saying I think he could re-sign there.
That's fair. But I feel like if you're Derrick Henry, why not go to a team where there's an opportunity for you to win a championship? Go to a contender. You know?
Do you think he's got that much impact left in him?
I think he has enough impact if he was in a running back by committee to where he doesn't get all those carries early in the season. He could be great down the stretch. So if you put him in, I'm just using this as an example. You put him with a team like Denver with a good quarterback, right? And Javonte Williams,
Denver getting
that's a good 1-2 punch, right? You put him in Buffalo with James Cook, that'd be a good 1-2 punch there.
Where's Denver getting a good timeout? Where's Denver getting a good quarterback?
You know, I'm just going to hope and pray that they get a good quarterback because I like rooting for the Broncos.
Ain't happening.
I like rooting for the Broncos because they're the home team, and I want the best for them, and I want them to get a quarterback. So likelihood of it happening is probably slim to none this offseason.
Couple years,
but I'm still holding out hope.
Couple years.
I'm still holding out hope.
Well, a couple years of pain incoming, if you ask me.
Oh man, but you get the drift. You get my drift here.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. All right, I'm gonna take the Titans plus the 3.5. There's just something about Vrabel in these situations. Dude is a master motivator. So even though there's nothing on the line for the Titans, I just feel like I feel like this is a jump up and bite you scenario. But listen, here's what I would tell you if you're into voodoo. So many teams need the Jaguars to lose. So much of America is going to be pulling for the Titans that the Jaguars are definitely going to win this game. 100%. Like this, I don't know if you're a believer in voodoo or karma or any of that, but it's just too many teams need the Jaguars to lose this game for it to actually happen. Just can't do it. Not happening.
Yeah, the NFL needs the Titans to win this game. That's the script.
Why would that be the script? Go ahead. Tell me your conspiracy theory.
Just because I think for a rating standpoint, you need the Bills in the playoffs. Let's just be real.
You think it's because of the Bills? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's because of the Bills. The Bills in the number 2 slot. I think the refs will be a little tainted toward the Bills tonight. I'm just telling you right now. If you think that the NFL, that there's no tampering in terms of results, I think we'd be kind of crazy not to think so. It's a $1 billion business enterprise.
Wow.
I think there are things.
I think there are things that
you're leveling there. Yeah, and it's, dude, man, peel the onion back, people. Stop looking at things with foggy glasses and kind of just be real with yourself here. Now, I think these, I don't think they really tamper with the overall outcome as a whole, but I think sometimes they're influenced. And in this game with the Titans, they need the Bills in the playoffs. They just do. Now, Bills at number 2 seed. Listen, the Jaguars, like what TV ratings wise, what are the Jaguars going to bring for you in Jacksonville? They're not going to do anything.
I'm not getting on this train. You want to go tinfoil hat? Go ahead. I'll let you go off, but I ain't getting on this train with you.
I know you, and that's why this is yin and yang on this show, ebony and ivory, and sometimes Ebony has a little bit of little crazy ideas. Okay,
I ain't getting into all that.
look. I don't know, man. It's just a crazy thought, a tinfoil hat Sterling. Yeah, I'm filled with conspiracy theories about life. So I don't know, man. We'll see how it plays out, and maybe I can come back next week and say I told you so.
Here's what I'll tell you. Here's what I will say. I think the NFL very much wants the Bills in the playoffs because you don't have Joe Burrow, and Patrick Mahomes hasn't looked the same, and so they want as many star quarterbacks in there as they can get. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that at all. But to the point where they would mess with outcomes, listen, man, let me just tell you something. As somebody who works in an industry where people all the time say, oh, it's coordinated, you're told what to say, you're told what to do, blah, 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 all this BS, which doesn't happen. I'm just telling you right now, it doesn't happen. That being said, if you really think that this is all not scripted, but like it's messed with a little bit, they tell the refs, give the Bills a friendly whistle here, blah, blah, blah. How has nobody ever come out and said that? Like,
when was the last time you ever heard a referee talk publicly?
It's been 25 years. You don't think one disgruntled employee who was privy to that conversation would leak an email? Like, come on, man.
Astronauts don't talk.
You would have heard
Astronauts don't talk. Astronauts don't talk. Did we go to the moon? I don't know. That's all I'm saying.
Buzz Aldrin punched a dude in the face because he was talking like that too.
Hey, Buzz is a G, bro. Buzz is an OG. I love that guy.
So I'm just
saying. That dude
saying,
will tell you we didn't go to the moon.
If it was, listen, if they fixed the moon landing thing, you've got to keep like 200 people quiet, okay? If they are fixing NFL games, you have to keep 20,000 people quiet every single year. Like, you couldn't do it. You could not do it. There would be some disgruntled employee somewhere, and it would get out.
What do they say? Protect the shield? They're good at protecting the shield, buddy.
What they say is the simplest explanation is often the right one, and the simplest explanation is that they don't do that. Mental
I
health
love
guy.
this conversation.
Thanks for checking in. I appreciate you watching. Appreciate you being here. I actually was let's produce the show right on air while we're here. Mental health guy says, "Will you all have shows before the playoff games?" Sterls, you want to do Saturday in the next couple weeks?
I don't mind. It just depends on what Leo's basketball schedule is. If not, I'm totally game. Totally game. And by the way, you can tell the fans here, we're gonna, even when the season's over, we're still gonna be here talking football, talking NFL draft and so forth. So
We'll
we're not
see.
leaving just
We'll
because.
see.
Oh, now it's a we'll see.
It's a we'll see, because if the Wolverines are national champions, I don't need to hear that all off season. So
Oh man, did Milkman pay you today?
So yeah, I'm thinking maybe mental health guy will do Saturdays in the next 2 weeks, so we can preview all of the playoff games, and then we'll do Sunday the divisional week, or the conference championship week, that is, and then Super Bowl remains to be seen. If there's something interesting about the Super Bowl, then might have to make some special plans, but we'll see. But yeah, I will do the playoff games on Saturdays, leading up to, and hopefully your boy's schedule allows him to be here as well. All right, a couple more 11 o'clock games. Let's get these finished up, and then we'll take our quick break because we are running late. You let Sterls talk about the Wolverines, and timing is just
okay. First of all, you're not going to do that. Yeah. We last until about 11 each and every week. Okay, because you and I are boys, and we love talking to each other, and sometimes we go on tangents.
We have been on air for an hour and 20 minutes, and we are not even through the 11 o'clock games.
So
you think that doesn't have to do with you spending 15 minutes talking about Michigan Wolverine football? And
it was really good. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Excellent analysis.
Mama Dukes loves it too.
Can't get
Mama
that.
Dukes loves it.
Can't get that nowhere else. All right. Vikings Lions in a game that means almost nothing. Doesn't actually mean nothing, but almost nothing. I'm trying to look and see here. So the Vikings are currently they still have an outside shot at the playoffs, but they're currently 7-9, and that puts them at like the 12th pick. And the only 6-10 team is the Jets. So I mean, you could jump all the way into the top 10 with a loss here if you're the Vikings, and it feels kind of like that's what they're doing by starting Jaron Hall these last couple weeks. Is just kind of punting on the whole thing. Am I crazy?
Why would you start him? That doesn't make any sense.
I mean, even if you don't think Nick Mullins, go back to Dobbs. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, he had a couple bad games. Fine. But, like, go back to Dobbs. But not interested in making the playoffs, apparently.
That, man, I was like, why are you starting Jaron Hall when you have two better quarterbacks on your roster? Just crazy. Like, you're trying to lose.
The Lions not locked into the 3 seed. Technically, they could get to the 2 seed, but it would take a Dallas loss to the Commanders. So it's unlikely, I'd say, at best. So the game kind of means something, but kind of doesn't. Still, I think Lions come out here and just thrash. I'll take Lions. I'll lay the 4 points. It's an easy pick for me. What about you?
I agree with that. The Lions are kind of pissed off from that debacle this week against the Cowboys. And you got to look at the DNA of that Lions team under Dan Campbell. They are very much a lunch pail, blue collar, finish the job kind of people. They're going to come out here and play really well today. I think they have a young team. And with young teams, man, you don't take weeks off. You know what I'm saying? You have to go full throttle. And I think the Lions are going to do that today.
Yeah, I think they mop the floor a little bit here with the Vikings. All right. You let me know if you want me to get out of your way for this or if you're going to get out of my way for this, because one of us is about to go on a tangent. Mental health guy, who is a favorite of this channel. I mean, honestly, Probably my favorite consistent viewer. Yeah, suck it, Milkman. Um, Probably my favorite consistent viewer, mental health guy. Great to the channel, always
Mm-hmm.
comes in giving
Mm-hmm.
gifted subs. Good conversation normally. Just an all around swell guy. Has now put up the stats for Josh Allen on the year. Now, do you want me to read the stats, or do you just want to go off? Or do you want me to go off? Which one of us is going
You
to
know what?
eviscerate him for this?
I had the Michigan tangent today,
Okay.
so you get this one.
Okay. Completion percentage 65.6. Not even bad, but okay. You can be mad about it. Passing yards per game 246.7. Oh, he's 10th. Oh no. Yards per pass 7.3. Anything over 7 is excellent. Where you want to be. Passing TDs 27th, tied 7th. INTs 16, second most. TD to INT ratio 1.69. That's not 20th. That's not 20th. Maybe it's just passing TDs. To INT ratio is 20th, maybe. Passer rating 91.5, 16th. Needing a Dolphins and Jaguars win, pray for the Allen downfall. He's allowed to say whatever he wants. What I'll say to you is you're jealous your team doesn't have an MVP candidate like Josh Allen. The man has over 40 touchdowns scored on the year. What are we doing this for? Why are we here? Why are we playing football? It's to score points and win games. The dude's record since he got in the league is immaculate. He's been top 3 in touchdown to interception ratio, touchdown to turnover ratio, each of the last 4 years. It's the first time in history, and since I think it was 1996 when I saw the tweet, that the guy who leads the NFL in total touchdowns wasn't selected to the Pro Bowl and didn't win the MVP. That's going to happen this year to Josh Allen. You know why? Because you all are ring snobs. For you, it's only about if he gets the hardware or not. And I can tell you, living in this city, in this town, with the immaculate, amazing players that play here, I've seen greatness in other sports. And I've seen it doubted. Everybody said that Nathan McKinnon wasn't good enough to win a cup. He hadn't won shit. And all of a sudden, the Avs caught a heater. They were the best team in the NHL. They won the cup. Everybody said Jokic didn't deserve 2 MVPs, that he wasn't the best player in basketball. And then he goes on a heater and tears up the rest of the league and wins a Larry O'Brien trophy and wins a finals MVP. If everybody out there praying for a downfall, go ahead. But I can tell you how stupid all the people that doubted Nathan McKinnon and doubted Nikola Jokic sound now. And I can go find you the tweets. Okay? So if you want to do that with Josh Allen, be my guest. But you better hope he doesn't get on a heater and rip through these AFC playoffs and win a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl MVP. Because if he does, you're going to sound real fucking stupid. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, it's
Jokic has never lost in the first round of the playoffs. You have no idea what you're talking about. He's the only time he lost in the first that's not true. He lost in the first round of the playoffs to the Golden State Warriors when Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. were out.
Were injured.
Yeah. The other year, he made it to the second round of the playoffs and lost to the Suns, even though those 2 guys were injured.
Yeah. Josh Allen has been discounted and doubted his entire football career. Someone that good. Now, there's your Dan Marinos out there. But I feel like Josh Allen he's going to get his eventually. If you look at the state of the AFC, there's not a better opportunity than right now. And the man has 40 touchdowns, 15 on the ground. Okay, fired offensive coordinator midseason. If you look at the passing game from the all 22 perspective, you can see that the passing game is very close to getting in stride. Every single team goes through lulls in the season on offense. It's just the way it goes. And sometimes because of who Josh Allen is, things get a little magnified. Rightfully so. It's the platform that he has. All I'm saying is this: sit back and watch, and let's see it play out.
Listen, if he loses today and is out of the playoffs, take your shots. The Bills
Yeah, absolutely.
deserve it this year as a team.
Mm-hmm.
But if the Bills win this game and they're the 2 seed and rip through the AFC playoffs and make it to the Super Bowl, then what? So I don't know, man. It's a weird week coming off 5 wins in a row, 4 wins in a row. How many do we have in a row? 4, 5?
I think
it was
4.
What, 6 and 6. So 4 wins in a row. It's a weird week to be blustering in here, talking shit about Josh Allen. If you ask me, if you want to bluster in here and talk shit about Herbert, you can, because he's hurt.
Yeah, but I just don't get the Josh Allen slander. To me, he's the second best quarterback in the league behind Patrick Mahomes, and I think he is the best dual threat quarterback in the league. Now, sometimes I think Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the league, but I just don't get the slander. I really don't. That's not because I'm a Bills fan. And when I tell you that I watch a ton of tape on college quarterbacks and NFL quarterbacks, I'm telling you, Josh Allen's special. And people can keep sitting there saying that he's not and he's whatever, but you're going to see it. And I'm telling you, Josh Allen's going to come out here and beat the snot out of the Dolphins tonight.
We'll get there.
No,
we'll get there.
Let me pause for a minute.
It's a weird week to come in talking shit about Josh Allen. If you want to, you can, but it's a weird week to do it. The dude, even if you don't like him, you won't find anybody in the league who says that he's worse than top 5 in quarterbacks in the league. You won't find a single person who says that he's not worth the contract that they paid him. Like, anybody who knows anything about football would tell you that they would take him on their team in an instant. And anybody who knows anything about football, if you can pay a guy $250 million and then everybody says, yeah, that was worth it, it's a weird guy to be going after. That's all I feel like. I mean, it's Josh Allen gets more praise for a playoff loss than Mahomes does when he won the game. What are you talking about? People won't shut up about Patrick Mahomes and how great he is. He is listen, even Brady didn't get the coronation that Mahomes gets for being the best quarterback in the league. Tom Brady for 20 years had the most Super Bowl titles in the league and made it literally every other year for 20 years on average. Every other year the guy was in the Super Bowl. Every other year the guy was in the Super Bowl. And people still didn't call him the best quarterback in football. It was people had the debate about if it was him or Peyton Manning. So what are you talking about, this Patrick Mahomes slander? It's ridiculous. There is no slander. He is the consensus best quarterback in football, and everybody has said that. I can't get people to stop talking about how good Mahomes is. So what are you talking about?
Can you also add that Patrick Mahomes had Tyreek Hill, generational talent, and Travis Kelce, who's also generational talent. Oh, and by the way, one of the best offensive masterminds in NFL history.
I don't need to make excuses for Pat Mahomes. Like, he's great, fine, but to think about saying that, like, he doesn't get Patrick Mahomes doesn't get the credit he deserves is fucking wild. I mean, that is absolutely crazy. All right, let's get off of it because he's just gonna mental health guy. I love you.
He's trolling today.
I love you. You know you're one of my favorites on this channel. I guess I have to say thank you for the tier 1 gifted sub, because this is what he does. I told him at the very beginning of the outset that he could talk as much shit as he wanted if he was going to continue to gift subs. So he came in, talked some shit, and gifted a sub to our guy Kenny G. So say what you want to say. Listen, the good news for you is if the Bills lose tonight, the Bills are going to get what they deserve. They played with their food all year long. They played like the playoffs weren't on the line in a whole bunch of these games that were earlier in the season. And if they get knocked out of the playoffs today, they're going to get what they deserved. But I got news for you. If they win and they get the 2 seed, they will also get what they deserve. And you better be careful. You better hope that he doesn't catch a heater. All right. Let's move on. Vikings, let's see. Last one, and then we'll do our commercial question of the day. Bucks, Panthers. Bucks, I don't think do they clinch with a win, Sterls, do you know? Or do they does it depend on who's winning in for the NFC South?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure on that.
Any hope here that the Panthers give some sort of inspired effort?
No, I think the drama around Dave Tepper, and the coaching staff, and rookie quarterback. I just feel like these guys are ready to pack it in, man. I don't. There is no reason for hope right now for the Carolina Panthers. So no.
What do you think about them as we kind of turn towards next year? Some people have said Steve Wilkes deserves a shot there. I mean, what's your thought here? What would you do if you're Tepper? And I know the answer is not throw drinks on people, but if you're the owner of that franchise, what are you looking for in terms of the future with that Panther team?
Yeah, I think you have to go out and find the best offensive-minded person money can buy. That's willing to come and be your coach, because you put yourself in a predicament when you drafted Bryce Young over CJ Stroud. And the quarterback means everything. You can have all these pieces on defense if you want. You can have young budding stars on offense if you want. But if you don't have the quarterback right, you're in trouble. And Bryce Young has not looked good this year. Now, it's not a lost cause. We've seen quarterbacks look like shit their first year. But Bryce Young has some things that he has to clean up, and these are things that are highlighted now that were there pre-draft when he was with Alabama. So they got to go find somebody who can help him the best he can. Firing Frank Reich, I don't think was the right move, to be honest.
I agree with you, and that's not a popular opinion, so I'm interested that you said that.
Yeah, because, that wasn't his quarterback of choice, for one. But if there's a guy out there that could help Bryce Young, it was him. So Dave Tepper is one of those owners who in the NFL community is not liked very much, just because he tampers and meddles with the organization and the operation. So get it. He's an owner. He can if he wants to, but let football people make football decisions. Get out of the way.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. I don't think as low of Bryce Young as you or some other people. But it'll be a really interesting offseason for the Panthers. For the Bucks, I think they mop this game. I'll take them minus the 4.5. Baker Mayfield wins it, gets a home playoff game to get eviscerated by the Philadelphia Eagles, in my opinion.
And don't go hire Steve Wilkes. I like Steve Wilkes, but you got to get an offensive guy, man. Quit playing.
It's interesting. It's not what I would have thought you would advocate for, but
I know, right?
Interesting. All right, we'll take a break. We'll do our commercial question. We will be back on the other side to wrap this thing up with the afternoon games that we're going to have to fly through now because you got us both taking tangents now. So we'll be back. All right, Sterls, let's see. I had a question prepared for you, and then I lost it. Do you have a question that you want to do for the commercial question? Oh, here it is. Oh yeah. Is it GIF or GIF? Let's start with that.
Ooh.
Is it GIF or is it GIF?
I'm gonna go with GIF.
What? Go on, I'm listening.
In the English lexicon, sometimes things don't make sense. And a GIF, which is actually correct, doesn't sound pretty enough. So call it a GIF.
Okay. Is it coupon or coupon?
Coupon. Who the fuck says coupon?
There are a lot of people who say coupon.
That's awful. You want to be French too? No.
I'm just saying. Here's why it is GIF in my eyes.
Because you're literal. That's why.
No. It's an acronym for graphics interchange format.
Oh, God.
Graphics.
How many
GIF.
people actually know that?
I think a lot of people.
Nope.
They're not graphics, they're graphics. So it's GIF. Mental health guy, I don't know that I'm letting him back in the channel, in the comments for the channel. I don't know that I'm doing it, but he says,
look at that.
He says pecan or pecan.
Pecan.
You know, they sent out, they did some advertising with our radio station, and they sent out a whole thing about how to say it.
What'd they say?
Pecan. He's so angry. Look at him.
As a Southern man here?
But they're from the South. It was like the thing was based in Georgia, I think.
No, see, here's the deal. There are people who reside in the South, and there are people who are Southern.
From the South.
You don't say that. That's like saying Big Mama can't cook. There's things you don't say. It's pecan, not pecan. What the hell?
All right, so welcome back, everybody who was not privy to our conversation, but we had a discussion about the English lexicon. Is it coupon or coupon? We're flying through here. Go ahead, Sterls. Coupon or coupon?
It's coupon.
GIF or GIF?
GIF.
Pecan or pecan?
Pecan. Quit playing with me. Quit playing with me right now.
I'm playing with you a little bit because it's graphics.
Yeah.
Interchangeable format. GIF.
For someone who has a career in IT, I'm aware of that.
Okay. So
it's still GIF.
Why don't we spread the good word then, my man?
It's still GIF.
Spread the good word. Okay. Cowboys at Commanders. Cowboys minus 13 points. I'll start with this one because mine's easy. You know my rule. Don't bet against 10-plus point spreads. Listen, the Commanders have been out of this for a long time. I'm not worried that they're not going to have motivation. I think they probably think it's fun that the game means something. So, yeah, knock off the Cowboys and give the Lions the 2 seed as possible. Why not?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Give me Commanders plus 13.
And the Cowboys don't play well on the road. What have we learned about the Cowboys this year? They suck on the road.
I don't know that I'm one way or another on the Cowboys this year, to be honest with you.
Well, you don't have to be to know that they don't perform well on the road. I mean, this team, they're good. I just feel like the Commanders, 2 touchdowns pretty much. Nah, man, they're going to keep it close.
Yeah, give me the 2 touchdowns. Home dog, 13 points. And an opportunity to mess with the division and the seeding. Yeah, I think the Commanders show up today. All right.
Sam Howell has something to play for.
a game that we thought was going to mean another game that we thought was going to mean something that just absolutely doesn't. Rams, 49ers. 49ers locked into that 1 seed. Rams locked into a playoff spot. Now this could affect seeding, but the Rams have basically said, we don't care. We're going on the road either way. Doesn't matter. We're going to sit everybody. And so I believe you're getting Carson Wentz versus Sam Darnold in this one. In a matchup of 2019 All-Stars. Carson Wentz and Sam Darnold. Rams getting 4 points here. God. We say that we're going to pick every game against the spread, so I have to pick somebody here. Give me
This
Sam.
is a game.
Give me Sam Darnold minus the 4.
Mm-hmm. This is a game where I would pick the over because you have two great offensive systems that work, regardless of who's playing quarterback. But if we're doing the spread here, give me the 49ers minus 4.
Yeah, I just think there's more talent on that San Francisco offense, even though a bunch of it won't be playing. Even as you go down depth-wise, there's more talent there. And I think Stafford was playing at an unbelievable level to get the Rams to this point. And the drop-off from Purdy to Darnold is smaller than the drop-off from Stafford to Wentz. So, all right, Eagles and Giants. Again, NFC East still on the line today, so there is something for this. But even with the win, Eagles could be stuck in that 5 spot because of the stupid way that the NFL seeds. So Eagles at Giants. Giants getting 4.5 points at home. I believe it'll be Tyrod Taylor again today for the G-Men, who ran an efficient offense and did exactly what we expected him to last week. Sterls, who do you like here?
I'm going to take the Eagles here. I feel like this is a team where even though they haven't put their best foot forward in a month, 6 weeks, I still think they're still a good team. I feel like they're going to get it together. Maybe you can, get the Giants to make a few mistakes and get this win. What does a win really do for the Eagles? Not much. But I feel like the Giants with the offensive line is bad. And, one of the Eagles' strengths is what they can do on the defensive line. So I think it comes down to the trenches this game. So give me the Eagles.
Okay, I'll give you the Eagles minus 4.5. I'm going to take the Giants plus 4.5. Like you said, the Eagles just haven't put their best foot forward, and I feel like it'll continue today. I think they pull it out, but I think it's like a field goal game, so I'll take the 4.5 and Tyrod Taylor to keep this one close.
Even after last week's game against the Cardinals.
Yeah, because of last week's game against the Cardinals.
I just feel like it's a get-right game for them.
Yeah, we've been saying that for 3 fucking weeks now.
That's true.
And then they lose to the Cardinals. Like, what are we doing here? What are we even doing here? All right, Packers, Bears. Bears plus. Ooh, I have plus. Oh, no, plus 3 is right. Bears plus 3 in Green Bay. Packers with a win and in scenario. Who would have guessed that? I mean, at a couple different points during the year. They went on that heater around Thanksgiving and then fell off again. And I thought they were toast. I really thought they were done. But they are in a win and in scenario. Bears getting 3 points, have played really well through the end of the season here. I think they were, 1-7, 2-7, something like that?
Right.
And they're 7-9. Rumors that Matt Eberflus might keep his job. Do they stick with Justin Fields? I mean, there's a ton of interesting storylines around the Bears right now. But can they knock the Packers out of the playoffs by beating them in Lambeau Field? Sterls.
No.
Cold.
I feel like the Packers will win this game. Jordan Love has been really, really good this year. What does he rank in touchdowns? He's up there. He's playing really well with second-year wide receivers. I feel like there's a lot of uncertainty with the Bears right now. Can't imagine what it would feel like to be Justin Fields, where you don't know what your future holds. And if I'm a Bears fan, I don't even know what the team should do. I'm torn. I'm absolutely torn. Like, I could see Fields coming back. I could see them going and getting another quarterback. But the idea of keeping Matt Eberflus, what?
Yeah, that drives me crazy.
Why? Doesn't make sense. With the Bears' fortunes, they'll win this game. Justin Fields will come out and have 350 passing yards, and it's just it's very Bearsy. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel. But my betting money, my heart says the Packers are going to win. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Bears give them everything. And that defense for the Bears, look, they are good.
They are.
They're good, man.
Especially with the additions that they made mid-season. Bringing in Sweat. They brought in Edmonds in the offseason. I mean, that defense is real solid. You could really build a team around that defense in a Ravens style if you found a just competent quarterback play, which is what you're seeing right now. You're getting competent quarterback play from Justin Fields, and they've won a whole bunch of games here at the end of the season. I like the Packers too. I feel like Matt LaFleur is going to have something special for today in terms of play calling. So maybe I'm believing in it a little bit too much, but I just think there's a little bit of Lambeau Field magic that's going to help the Packers today. So give me the Packers minus the 3.
Yeah, I agree. Man, and the Packers, dude, like, hey, man, they've quietly done it the right way. Let Rodgers go. You groomed a quarterback for years. Like, you got to give those guys credit, man. They've done it the right way, and I appreciate that. Just from a roster construction, rebuilding, you got a no-name wide receivers all over the place who are playing well, right? Yeah. Like, the Packers have done it right, man. So, no, I wish them the best.
To that point, mental health guy says, don't you have to take Williams even if it fails? In my eyes, the answer to that is yes. And it is a simple matter of contract. Teams with quarterbacks on rookie deals have such a better shot to win a Super Bowl.
Yep.
And so if you can get even close to the level of play out of Williams that you're getting out of Justin Fields, it's worth it because you have 5 years of rookie quarterback contract. But
I'd rather have Williams than Fields anyway.
Well, you're projecting though, right? Like, we don't know.
Right.
But I'm just talking like what we do know practically is that if you can get any kind of quarterback play out of a rookie, you can build that defense for millions and millions of dollars the way that you have so far and keep them around for longer, together for longer, and try to win in a Ravens style. And all Caleb Williams would have to do is play close to as well as how Justin Fields is playing. And so that's why, for me, you have to take Caleb Williams. However, and you had just said this, it would be very Bearsy for them to pass on Caleb Williams, trade out of that spot, have 2 draft picks that they use to pick 2 defensive guys, and they go 6-11 next year
right.
with a really, really good defense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it would just be very Bearsy of them.
Wouldn't it? Man. Thank God we're not Bears fans. Sheesh.
I mean,
I'd be pulling my hair out, and I don't even have hair.
The Bills had this conversation for 20 years. Like, we did this for 20 years. So, welcome to the club, Chicago. Okay, Seahawks and Cardinals. Seahawks can only get in if Green Bay ends up losing, I believe, is the only way they get in. Let's see. Conference records are tied right now. Oh, interesting. Wins the tie break over Seattle based on strength of victory. Huh.
Man, Arizona's been spoiling seasons, man.
They could today too. They are getting 3 points at home versus Seattle. So it's interesting. It's not even conference record that that Green Bay and Seattle, they're already to the strength of victory tiebreaker. So a win today over the Bears would pretty much assure it, right? If Green Bay already wins that tiebreaker and then they beat the Bears and the Seahawks beat the Cardinals, Green Bay will have the strength of victory tiebreaker. So Seahawks need Green Bay to lose to get in. Seahawks -3 in Arizona. What you thinking?
I'm taking the Cardinals.
Yeah, me too.
I just really like, you talk about the Titans of the NFC. It's been the Arizona Cardinals, man.
It's a great point.
Kyler Murray's come back and played really well, and they just rallied around that coach and that team. Like they are there's man, if you're a Cardinals fan, you got to be effing pumped about your future.
Do you? I don't know that you do.
Well, here's the deal. Even if you got rid of Kyler Murray and drafted a quarterback, you're going to be set because you got another first-round pick, right? But if you kept Kyler Murray and you got Marvin Harrison Jr. and another piece, okay. Like, it could go really, really well. I think there's more evidence of it working than it not.
That's interesting. I don't disagree with you. People have had good things to say about Jonathan Gannon. I tend to be higher on Kyler Murray than most people. And they do have a couple real high first-round draft picks. I would probably use them both on defense, if I'm being completely honest with you. I feel like they have decent weapons. I love Trey McBride. I think he's a great tight end out of Colorado State.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Where are they sitting right now? Would you be looking at Marvin Harrison Jr.? Because
where are they? 6?
Hold on. I'm looking. Listen, I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is really good. I don't know. I feel like he's going to be overdrafted.
Okay, Rome Odunze.
Oh, Rome Odunze.
I mean,
love Rome Odunze.
So the Cardinals are currently sitting at 4th. They're 4th right now. So
I have them
there's
third.
a chance.
I have them third. Who do you have in front of them?
New England
and
Washington.
Okay, you have Washington ahead of them in the draft order.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I have Washington behind them in the draft order. But either way,
okay,
you're probably Bears, Patriots, Commanders. Bears, even if they're not taking quarterback, they're trading that to somebody who wants Caleb Williams, right? So then Patriots, Commanders, both probably quarterback. So yeah, I mean, you get the best player of any other position, right?
You dude, if you're in a position to take Marvin Harrison, you take him. Don't play around with that. Cardinals, take the guy.
I mean,
take him.
I think he's really good. I don't know if he's.
Take him.
I want to be careful what I say here because I'm not down on the kid. I just think he's a little overhyped. I think people who see his name say, hey, listen, Marvin Harrison,
You don't like Marvin Harrison. You think he's overhyped.
I think he's overhyped. I think he's a really good wide receiver. I really do. But I think he's overhyped.
But you love Rome Odunze.
I do love Rome Odunze. I wouldn't.
And
I
I love Rome Odunze.
I probably wouldn't draft him in the top 5, though. I love Rome Odunze.
Both of these guys are phenomenal.
I love Rome Odunze as a top 10 or 15 pick, but I probably wouldn't say he's a top 5 pick.
Man. Rome Odunze is up there for me, man.
Top 5, bro? What are we talking
1A,
about?
1B. Rome Odunze is special, dude.
I love him. I love him. Don't get me wrong.
He's special, dude. That big and the way he runs his routes, both these guys are really good route runners, man.
For those of you that don't know, Rome Odunze, wide receiver for Washington, you can watch him play tomorrow night. Marvin Harrison, wide receiver for Ohio State. If you're more of an NFL guy than a college guy, they're two of the best wide receivers in college football, and they both will go in the top half of the first round. So we're not arguing if they're really good. We're arguing, like, do you think they change your franchise?
Where you take them?
Do you think they change your franchise? And I don't think Marvin Harrison changes your franchise. Doesn't mean he's not a great player. I still think he's a great player.
Well, what wide receiver drafted in the top 5 would you say has changed the franchise?
Calvin Johnson.
He's probably one of
Julio Jones.
One of what, 5?
Yeah, handful.
Right?
Yep.
So I see what you're saying from a value standpoint. But where you get drafted and all that stuff matters too, right? And if you keep Kyler Murray, I think he'd be worth the top 5 pick there. Let's say you drafted him to a team with no quarterback. Oh, okay, well, yeah, it's skeptical. But you got a top guy, or you got a really good quarterback in Kyler Murray. I feel like if they draft him, he'll be fine. There's also, if you're a GM, if you think with the GM hat, you could trade back a couple slots and get Rome Odunze. Or if Marvin Harrison falls because someone wants a quarterback, then I would be interested in that, because you're going to get a second-round pick, first-round pick next year.
This is exactly
It's
what I'm
another
thinking.
way you could look at it.
This is exactly what I'm thinking if I'm the Bears, right? Like, if I'm thinking I'm sticking with Justin Fields, I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to trade underneath the Commanders and the Patriots and still get the best player on the board that's not a quarterback. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, I think that's absolutely the move. All right.
Phone lines are open.
It's gonna be that is gonna be a ton of fun. That's gonna be really.
It's gonna be a great offseason, man.
Oh, it's gonna be so good. Speaking of a great offseason, Broncos and Raiders.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Stidham versus Aiden O'Connell was definitely the matchup I thought we were gonna have for this one. This game, now,
asleep.
I don't know. God, I wish I remembered what he said. This game can matter for the playoffs. It has to do with strength of victory for other teams. And there is a scenario, depending, I think, on how the Jacksonville game plays out, there is a scenario where this game decides who gets in versus Steelers-Jaguars. I'd have to look up how that went. Maybe that went by the wayside with the Steelers winning. I don't know. But going into the weekend, this game did technically matter for the playoffs in terms of strength of victory, which is kind of crazy. But Broncos +3 on the road in Vegas. Tell me who you like here.
This game matters for the Raiders. It matters for Antonio Pierce, who is kind of trying to stake his claim as the next Raiders head coach. I just feel like, the Broncos, oh man, Jarrett Stidham, like, what? That to me, I understand why they did it. I understand why they did it. It's just like a season that they kind of fixed and had so much hope. Now they're just not going to make the playoffs. So if you ask me, I'm going to take the Raiders here, just because I'm an Antonio Pierce fan. I hope he gets the Raiders job. Aiden O'Connell he's trash, but maybe they can kind of get something going on the ground. I don't know, but I feel like, Devontae Adams is not going to impact this game because who's going to be covering him? So they're going to have to manufacture offense somewhere else, I believe. So on the Broncos side, like, what do you do? Like, who's up for this game if you're a Broncos fan? Like, who on the Broncos, they're going to come in and be like, yeah, I'm ready to play this game. Like, they don't care. How could you?
That's the question for me, and I 100% agree with you. I think the Raiders are playing for a coach. Like, they want Antonio Pierce to be their head coach, and the way that you do that is win this game. So I'll take the Raiders -3 points because I think they're going to come out motivated to try to get Antonio Pierce that job. All right, Chiefs and Chargers.
What a cool story too, man. It's just a cool story.
It is. And I'm not a big Raiders fan, but it's one of those that you want to work out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Chiefs and Chargers, when the season started, and I looked at this at the end of the year, I was licking my chops. I'm like, oh, this could be the Sunday night football game for the AFC West. Herbert, Mahomes. Nope. Nope. 10-6 Chiefs slotted in where they're slotted in. I don't think they can move from the 3 seed. Chargers have been playing East and Stick and have a coach named Giff. Here we are. Chargers, I think, are going to be one of the interesting stories of the offseason, but they're just playing out the string here. So, who you got? Sterls,
I'm gonna take the Chargers.
Ooh, okay.
Is Mahomes even playing today?
No, I don't think so.
Give me the Chargers.
It's Chiefs getting 3 points. So my guess is that Mahomes isn't playing.
Yeah, Easton Stick is not terrible.
Oh, I think that's generous of you.
Right? That's very nice of me.
I think that's generous of you.
We know who's going to win the game, but what are they going to do with Derwin James?
There's a ton of talent on that defense that you could, if you wanted to just start over in LA, you could trade Derwin James for a first-round pick, Khalil Mack for a first-round pick, Joey Bosa for multiple first-round picks. There is a ton of talent on that team that if you wanted to just flat do a full rebuild, you could have the entire first round if you wanted. You know what I mean?
I'd do it. I would do it if I were them. Derwin James got to go.
Why?
He plays more. He plays more in the box now, anyways.
Well, but so it was interesting. I heard them do a little breakdown on him and how his job has changed since Staley got fired, and they've got him more in kind of this Joker role, this, star role where he is more down in the box, but also kind of traveling with the best wide receiver. So he's on that side of the field a lot of the time as kind of a safety / linebacker / nickel corner. And I don't know. I wouldn't get rid of him.
Okay.
I would hire an offensive head coach, and I'd go get a guy like Wade Phillips to figure out how to use him right. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
There's so much talent on that defense. You hire the right person as defensive coordinator of that team, and they are going to be really good.
Yeah.
You don't sound like you believe that.
Is this tough? It's not that I don't believe it. It's just tough. Like, do we really expect them to do the right thing?
Yes.
Like you think you do?
I think they're going to do the right thing because the market is going to make them do the right thing. Because I think everybody's going to want that job. I think they're going to have their pick of head coaches.
Yeah, they will. They will. Okay, let me ask you a question to that. If you are the Chargers, who's your next head coach?
I'm not a big fan of Johnson in Detroit. There are other people who are bigger fans of him than me. I like the Texans guy, Slowick. I like him. I don't know if he's ready to be a head coach. I think the Bill Belichick conversation is super interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about
Jim
a guy
Harbaugh.
who could get the most out of the talent on that defense. Poof.
I don't think he stays in Michigan. If he wins tomorrow night, I think he's going to NFL.
I agree with that. I think he's more likely to end up in Chicago than he is in LA. But that's assuming that they fire Eberflus, which isn't apparently foretold.
Right.
I also think that it's possible that he ends up in New England.
Ew. No. Nope. Stay at Michigan. You will not do that. You will not do that.
I think it's
Nope.
possible that
I couldn't stomach it. I couldn't stomach it.
I think it's possible
Nope.
he ends up in New England.
You're the first person I ever heard say that.
Really?
And I'm mad at you for saying that. I'm mad at you
I don't know that I've heard somebody say
suggesting
it
that.
before either, but to me it makes a whole lot of sense.
It makes a shit ton of sense.
You got, first of all, everybody there
But-
is conditioned to handle a grumpy old man like he is.
Can
right?
you not
So-
talk about this right now?
So
I don't want to hear it.
So the media, the organization, the people around the organization, they're all used to that old school style of football coach. So I don't think there's a culture shock there when he comes in and starts barking orders or wanting to do it his way. He would get to have full control over everything they do. You're at the base of a rebuild right now, and you're picking your quarterback for the next 5 years in the face, which could be J.J. McCarthy if he really wants it to be.
This makes me ill.
So the Patriots, to me, make a ton of sense for Harbaugh. He knows he would have a good owner in Kraft who would stay out of his way and let him do the damn thing. And he's got there's some talent there, Judon and Gonzalez, and there's some talent there. So if he brought in his defense, run the football mindset, and got to start from the bottom and rebuild that thing, I think Patriots makes a lot of sense for Harbaugh.
I couldn't handle it. I couldn't. I love Harbaugh. I hate the Patriots so much. That would make my heart sick. And I know that he drafted a lot of his former players from Michigan, which Belichick drafts a
Peppers
bunch of
is there,
Wolverines as
right?
well. Yeah,
Jabril Peppers is there.
Bill loves Michigan players. Just don't do it, Bill. Stay. Just stay in New England, or Jim, just stay at Michigan, because my heart couldn't take it. I couldn't take it.
You're going to be okay, buddy. It's going to be all right.
I don't know if I'm going to make it, dude. My day was so good until you said that. Like, seriously.
I mean, it makes the most sense to me.
It makes so much sense.
I don't like Harbaugh in Carolina. I don't like Harbaugh in Washington. What else are the openings going to be? I might like him with the Jets.
Oh God.
I could see him in New York with the Jets, maybe. I don't like him in Atlanta. I mean, that's probably it for openings, right? Oh, Oakland or Vegas. I don't like him in Vegas. To me, Harbaugh, it says like Patriots, maybe Chargers, and Bears. I think are the
I don't care.
the possible.
I don't
landing
care.
spots.
Just no.
Then you better hope you lose tomorrow.
Nobody in the AFC East gets Jim Harbaugh.
Then you better lose tomorrow.
Why would you even say that? Oh my God! Just cancel the show.
If that was the choice
You're an
you had,
asshole.
hold on. If that was the choice
You're an
to make,
asshole.
if that was the choice you had to make,
You're an asshole.
You can have a national title tomorrow, but Harbaugh ends up being coach of the Patriots.
I don't have to pick. I don't have to play your game.
Yes, you do.
Gypsy. I don't, and I
This is my
won't.
show, and you're playing my game.
Well, I am not playing.
Come on, pick,
okay.
you get the title, but Harbaugh ends up in New England, or you lose, but he stays.
Dude, you're cruel for this. I would pick Michigan win the national title. Obviously. And if Harbaugh went to the Patriots, I would just not be well. Not be well.
Let's add a little flavor to it then. Harbaugh goes to the Patriots, and you know that he wins a Super Bowl in the next 3 years.
Oh, hell no. Nope. Mm-mm.
So you're picking Michigan to lose the title in that case?
I'm picking Michigan to win a title. Y'all can have Harbaugh, but they not winning the damn title.
This is a condition of him going there. You would know that he's going to win a Super Bowl.
Put me in an electric chair if I have to sit through the New England Patriots being good again and winning a Super Bowl. I'd rather
Michigan lose the
No.
title? Would you rather Michigan lose the Natty, and so you don't have to endure Jim Harbaugh winning a Super Bowl with the Patriots?
Can it just be Sunday right now? I just want to be where my feet are.
The answer, bro. You got to tell me.
I want Michigan to win a title.
And so then you're fine with Jim Harbaugh winning a Super Bowl with the Patriots. Caleb Williams, the quarterback.
Oh, hell no. Nope. Lose your national title. Fucking lose it. I couldn't handle that, bro. That would be – I've seen Michigan lose some doozies, okay, in my lifetime.
That's hilarious.
Make tomorrow another one. I couldn't handle the effing Patriots with Caleb Williams and Jim Harbaugh. Nope. Nope. Having to see that twice a year. Oh, God, no.
Oh, my God. That was so much fun.
That's a terrible game. That's a terrible game.
So
and if
fun.
you say you love me, you
So
wouldn't do
much
that to me, bro. The
much.
fact that you did that to me is sinister.
So much fun. I can't even tell you how much fun that was.
Sinister.
Hey, man, it's just a simple question.
It's not.
Yeah, it was.
That's hard.
Yeah.
No, dude, whatever. Mental health guy says, stay at Michigan. College coaches are treated better than NFL coaches on average. I hope you're right.
That is
I wish
true.
he'd stay at Michigan.
College coaches also do 10 times as much work as NFL coaches do.
And Jim Harbaugh, 60.
That's what I'm saying. Like, NFL coaches, you build a game plan, you talk to the media a couple times. Yes, it's still a lot of work, but it is not near as much work as being a college head coach. Having to talk to boosters, go to events, recruit kids. I mean, it is 10 times as much work to be an excellent college head coach than it is to be an excellent NFL head coach. And if Harbaugh completes his mission and wins a title for his alma mater, I do think he goes to the
He's
NFL.
out.
Yeah.
And Jim Harbaugh has young kids too.
Yeah.
He still has a couple young kids. So I think, time with the kids are precious. I feel like, if he goes anywhere, honestly, it's either there's three places he could realistically go. Chicago, Chargers, or the Raiders.
No, you're forgetting one.
No, I left that one out.
No, you're forgetting
on
one.
purpose.
You're forgetting one.
You're an asshole, and I don't like you right now. Dude, I will be thinking about that all day today. Just fucking A, dude. That's awful.
I broke him, ladies and gentlemen. Good news, I can distract you right now. We got one more game to talk about, and these games are kicking off too, so we better get going.
I don't care.
Bills at Dolphins. An AFC East title game with the opportunity, assuming that the Jacksonville Jaguars win, of the Bills swinging between the 2 seed in the AFC or out of the playoffs based on a win or a loss, which is just absolutely absurd. I mean, that is mind-boggling to me. I wonder if a conference has ever been so tight record-wise that that's been the case. I can't imagine that there's been another scenario like that. Just absolutely crazy. Bills -3 in Miami. And I know what you're going to say, Sterls, and it's going to make me nervous, so go ahead and say it.
Well, you know what? I have no functioning thoughts right now because, yeah, you're right. I am broken. So I don't even know what my analysis is of all the film I've watched this week. I don't know what the hell to tell you. You ruined my day. Thank you very much. You have. Oof, God. Bills, Dolphins.
Those khaki pants. You think he still dresses like Bo Schembechler when he's in New England, or does he switch and start dressing like Bill Belichick?
Jim.
Does he start dressing like Bill Parcells when he's in New England?
Dude, he will when he's with the Chargers. He will still wear his khakis.
Yeah, because the Chargers. I mean, he could dress like Don Coryell when he went to the Chargers.
Oh God. Why can't he just stay at Michigan, bro?
Because he's going to go to the Patriots and be the Patriots head coach.
I know. Oh, yeah, probably. Whatever. Bills by $1 billion today. That's my analysis.
Why?
Bills are going to – well, there's no Raheem Mostert. There's no Jalen Waddle. And then you talk about the injuries that they've had. I do feel like the Bills defensively, like we talked about earlier in the show, I feel like they're better now. Daquan Jones was a fucking – dude, he was great last week. Daquan Jones will save that defense, man. He will save that defense. Offensively, the Bills are really close to getting it back offensively, throwing the ball. We know that they are great. You know, their rushing attack is really good right now. Josh Allen is going to continue to he's going to get right and put up the numbers that people expect him to do. Today, I feel like he's going to throw for 303 touchdowns.
We better see a Josh Allen who's ready for the playoffs.
And if we don't, we got problems. We got massive problems if we don't see that.
I want to make you say something nice about Sean McDermott.
I just did. I said he's done really well calling the defense the past few weeks. That's all I got to say. That's all I'm going to say about him. Because if I say too much about him, he's going to suck ass, and then I'm going to be really pissed.
I just feel like whatever happens, either way, Bills are going to get what they deserve today. If they end up losing, it's going to be...
That's a good way to look at it.
It's going to be, you shouldn't have played with your food in all those bullshit games, and if you're out, you earned it. And if they win and they're the 2 seed and they make it in, it's going to be, you won 5 games in a row, and you deserve it. So either way, I'm going to be at peace today because I'm going to think that the Bills got what they deserved. I hope it's a 2 seed and a win.
But man,
I see you already watching the games.
Beat the Dolphins.
Look at you.
Beat the Dolphins.
Look at you just not paying attention because we hurt you mentally.
Yeah, you did.
Already locked into the 11 o'clock game so you can try to forget that Jim Harbaugh
Jaguars are moving the ball down the field, FYI.
Going to be a Patriot next year.
Okay. All right. Oh man, you're brutal.
You think you're thinking about it all day today? Wait till tomorrow.
Oh, dude, yeah. And I want to enjoy the national title game.
You won't. You won't.
The fact that it's like one of those moments where you think, you know what, I got it all figured out. I know the possible outcomes and so forth. And then when you throw in a wrinkle like that, you go, oh shit, that might be like the likeliest outcome of all of them. And I didn't even know it. So I didn't even let my mind go there is the sad part. Because I knew the turmoil that would ensue after that stupid ass thought gets put in my head. So,
well, it's important that you know it and you have time to make peace with it before it happens in 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know.
Start to process. He's so broken. All right, we will be back next week. We're going to try to do Saturday instead of Sunday. So we can preview all of the wild card weekend, but we'll see. It might just be me. If Sterls can't do it, maybe we do it on a Sunday. If Sterls can't do it on Saturday, I don't know. But we are going to try to do a Saturday kickoff rather than a Sunday. So keep your eyes open for that. And maybe I will stream the national championship game tomorrow. We'll see how things work out. But I can promise you one thing: Sterls won't be on there. Because he's angry with me.
Say something nice about Michigan before you get off of here. He's
angry with me.
Okay?
And he's going to be a mess tomorrow. Something nice about Michigan. I was impressed that their offense and defensive lines didn't get overwhelmed by Alabama.
All right, fair.
Okay. All right, that's it for the show. Go watch football. We love you all. We'll see you next week. Peace.